Okay, so this is another video of what if Midoriya had Venom and Carnage inside of his body. So last time we left off, we talked about how Midoriya's mom is married Baku's mom, basically. And I think her name, if I remember correctly, what's her name? I completely forgot. And we're just going to call Bakugo's mom until I write it down somewhere and put it on my wall. That'd be kind of weird, but that's how we're going to do it. But as they also had another child, ish. What I mean by that is Baku's mom was already pregnant. Baku's mom was already pregnant before when she got pregnant before she figured out that Baku's original dad, aka his stepdad right now, that has no custody over him at all right now, is an asshole, basically. Like, pure assholishness. But, so she was already pregnant. So she had another kid with him. Now, Midoriya, Inko was already there. Inko was already there at that point, so they co-parent them. And even now, since this year, it's just been that way. And now, yes, Bakugo has a sister. Not a very younger one, of course, because he was 6 when this happened. But yes, he has a younger sister. Now, it's kind of bullshit. Let's get into the meat of the situation. Right now, Midoriya is in an abandoned chocolate factory right now. Like, it's massive. Like, he's in here for 2 reasons. 1, he's looking for chocolate. 2, he's also looking for somewhere to sleep. Because he's tired and he's exhausted. Because how many people can you eat the heads off of someone before you really care? Also, yeah, none of that, like, health things were gonna affect him too much because it's Carnage and Venom helping him through his bloodstream and also his like everything else. So yeah, nothing can really affect him in a way where he could die. Like, truly. Like, if someone's the only thing that could kill them. Yeah, no, I don't think anything in the My Hero Academia universe could murder. Maybe I'll pull up something, but like, only flames, and they gotta be hot. They gotta be hot, because even then, like, Midoriya's bloodstream has Carnage and Venom, so if he gets cut, he gets a paper cut. They come out. Don't cap this shit. It's hard. But Midoriya is basically looking for just for some food and like a bed. So he's like opening barrels that have been opened a little bit, and he's like, wow. And he's like looking for the chocolate bars, ones that haven't been, sucker free. Got a couple. Opens another barrel. Got some more chocolate bars. Opens a barrel. Got a fucking jackpot. Entire full barrel of chocolate bars. He grabs his bag. Basically, it's just his waterproof bag that he stole. Come on, it's Carnage. It's Carnage and Venom. These are not heroes. These are anti-heroes at max. What the fuck are you telling me? he stole this bag from someone. I think he stole it from a store. He put it inside of his body. No one noticed. He just starts loading up the chocolate bars. He zips up the chocolate. He grabs like 5 or 7, and then he grabs the barrel and he reseals it. So like for later date. Opens one of the chocolate bars and starts eating it. I don't know why I'm telling you like why the fuck am I telling you he's eating the chocolate bar? Like he's like fucking munching on that chocolate bar. It's delicious. Right now he's looking for like just like the factory space for any bed. And then he finds he's been just walking around for a little bit and he finds the like the boss's room basically, and he opens the door. He realizes the desk is still here. Like just a straight desk is still here. The chair is gone. Like the fancy little chairs they usually have is gone, but yeah, the desk is still here. He starts looking through the desk and shit like that. Everything else is gone and everything else is like just not there. Like there's no files, there's no nothing. And he's like, okay, if they're not using it, I will. As he, grabs out his backpack. He has like a duffel bag and a backpack. The duffel bag is where he puts all his candy, basically. Like all his candy and all his money that he barely has any of. And that's where all the stuff of that stuff goes. If you hear the shower running, I am super sorry, but I don't give too much of a fuck about that. It's too early. It's too early. But basically, what he does is keeps all his money and candy in a duffel bag, and then keeps all his actually living supplies in a backpack. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, had to talk to someone real quick. We don't want that in the video. Sorry. I know my voice is probably lower now than normal, mostly because I'm sick, but who cares enough? That's who I'm talking to. The person who's fucking worried about my dumb ass. Shouldn't be. But, life is life. So, he's basically just, living. He opens his bag and grabs his, a pillow that looks like it's fucking disgusting. Like, you see some, shit marks, and he's like, oh, wrong side, and he flips it over, and he puts it down, and he grabs a blanket from his blanket. That actually looks pretty nice. It's really fluffy, and really, good looking, and he's like, okay. And he basically just lays on the desk and falls asleep. That's what he does. So, as the world goes, we're going to switch our point of views into the UA area. Now, the UA area, aka Nizu, All Might, all those people, have been looking for, heroes. A couple of them have found Bakugo as a good candidate. A couple found them, Iraka, Shinjo, like that's, that's Aizawa. Aizawa was over here, Shinjo, Shinjo. No, but yeah, that's Aizawa. Definitely Aizawa who says that shit. But, and a bunch of them say well, and then they get done with the hero thing. Some of them say some heroes, some say some kids' names. They start showing up images and stuff like that, and then they start getting into the real issue of the matter, and that is the random deaths that have been happening around. Because, come on, Carnage and Venom together in a situation And you're not gonna think they take off rapists, murderers, serial killers, and child molesters' heads off for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and eat their entire body? Come on, figure this out. Understand that it's not just a play. It's not like, oh my gosh, it's Venom and Carnage. No, it's Venom and Carnage. You fucking morons. You gotta understand this. Like, they will fuck you up just for the sole reason why they just want your brains, so they don't go fully insane. That's also why they eat the chocolate. If you don't get that reference, if you don't get it, yeah. But where was I? Okay, so they start talking about how, as it was like, yes, it's kind of weird that random occurrences have been happening in not the same district and not the same area, but very close to a same house. The Midoriya's house. Or the Baku's house. Which one? I don't know which one took their name. What should I say? I think Bakugo almost threw a fit about that. Bakugo threw a fit about what last name because he didn't want to be called Midoriya. But his last name, he didn't want to be called because it's his father's. So he's like, Midoriya's better, and then he took it. But yeah, but Deku, aka Midoriya, has been cleaning up the entire fucking block of bad guys. For, fucking, like, mile to 2 mile to 3 mile standpoint around the Midoriya's house. One guy looks like a child predator, or is a child predator, heads off. Venom and Carnage support this decision. Both of them. Venom does it more randomly, and this is how we get the random patterns. It goes from mile to 2 mile to 3 mile, and then it goes to 2 mile to 3 mile to 1 mile, and then, just randomly. It's a little random, and that's how they don't get him as easily. But it's the same map block, and Nezu's basically explaining this to them, and then he's like, we might have to talk to the Midoriyas, and it's like, that's where as this is all my, oh yes, this is where the Bakugo family is. This is where the them seem like a very, as Midnight shows up, and he says, I will talk to them. You will not talk to them, I will. I know the Midoriyas very well. He knows them because for 4 years now, they've been trying, to find Deku, or aka Midoriya. They've been trying to find Midoriya, and he's just not there. They put his father in police custody. They found traces of Midoriya's blood in in rooms, and like dry blood. They take him for child abuse, child neglect, drug, like possession of drugs, possession of firearms, and possession of unlegal artifacts, aka blades that weren't legal, and stuff like that. And they bust like 3 other guys too before, but none of their stuff, like all the leads that they got, all the stuff that they got, nothing. No, not even a trace of Midoriya. Through all of this, not even a trace. And it's scary. Because, Inko's he's thinking, he's like, he's not dead. Like, they know that for sure. He's not dead. For obvious reasons, aka, he is a survivor. He will survive. Like, Inko tells him that completely. But she had she had a couple years, those 3 years, those 3 years of like her when they were not dating or they were not in a relationship, those 3 years was full of her crying, her sadness, and her everything. And when they started dating, it was still a decent amount of that. It's just less controlled. And when they got married, they kind of got away a little bit. But Inko is still always, like, Inko on Midoriya's birthday will pray for God's sakes. And they're still finding leads. I'm not saying Midoriya is placing the leads and making them go and break down drug dealers so he doesn't have to eat them. But I'm saying the morgue is less filled than now. But all of that stuff has been happening. Midoriya has been in the center of it, and Midoriya has been orchestrating all of it. Not his mother's sadness. He wants to show it, but come on. He is a murderer at the highest standards. He kills not for fun, but for survival and an understanding of the world. Come on. Like, you think Midoriya can't go over to his mom's house and knock on the door? He's Venom. He can do that. He's Venom and Carnage. He can do that anything. But he can't. Because he fears what would happen after that. But what he could do is put leads for the cops. Slowly bust them down. The low guys that can't, like the really high guys, $1,000,000 that can't be busted. That's Midoriya's job. That's what Midoriya has to do. And that's where he kills them. Or when they break out of prison, they try to go again. Sometimes he just eats them. And this is how you know Midoriya's a fucking genius. But back to the subject at hand. Midoriya. When Midoriya wakes up, he hears, Carnage. Good morning, Midoriya. How was your dreams? And Midoriya's like sarcastically like, bloody as hell. You know what my dreams are. You put like fairy tale / bloody dreams in my head, didn't you? It's like, no, never. As Venom's like, you know, if we keep on doing this, you'll finally get nightmares. Carter's like, yes, that's my plan. Like, we're not trying to give him nightmares. We're trying to make him kill more people. As you see Midoriya grabs this piece of paper, and he starts writing this another lead, and he says, as he folds the paper in half, and he says, only when there's enough only when the bad guy count starts going higher. As Midoriya calls the police, says, blah blah blah, I don't want to be known, I don't want my name to be known, but there is, I think, something happening on Rhodus and Maine. Building on the southwest. Looks like a clown shop almost. As he also, while he's doing this, he's running to the police station. As he puts in his normal position, where he groups down to nothing, and he goes underneath the door as he fakes to be the carpet. Carnage can do this. Carnage can make him look like anything, and he places his lead on the front desk. Now this has been happening for 2 or 3 years, so they know what placed on the desk. He leaves, goes away, as he's still he's not on the phone anymore. He told him his lead, he's hanging up, and then he put his lead. Now, same thing happens. They go to the building, they look it out, and they They find drugs, they find weapons, they find illegal artifacts, they find slavery, and they find like a bunch of shit. They arrest them. They get the girls out of there, and the boys, There are boys in there too. Don't fucking doubt me. There are males in there. As you see, Midoriya is sitting on this roof, and he's just like, he's looking at the entire thing, and he's just like, wow, these dumbasses are fucking idiots. And he says this out loud because, and like Carnage, I gotta make these voices better. Carnage is like, yes, you're gonna realize that murdering them will be a lot easier. As Venom is like, yes, wait, sorry, sickness. You know, well, killing them, yes, would be a lot easier. This is a lot more fun sometimes. This card is just like, it's not fun. It's more interesting than fun. As Midori starts smiling, he says, interesting. Maybe. As he hears a voice behind him and says, so, you're the one they've been giving, because it's a 2-story building. No normal human being can get on this thing without being spotted. So, and then, wait, no, back up. He sees him coming, because Carnage has this ability where he can basically has eyeballs all over his body, and he can see him coming. He sees him coming. And this is what happens. He sees Aizawa coming, aka, and he doesn't move. He doesn't care. Like, he already has an alibi. As he has his backpack on and like his like duffel bag with him. And back to the scene. But he gets up and he says, what do you mean by that? I just came here for the show. And for the delicious feeling of putting criminals into jail cells. As he grabs his bag, grabs his duffel bag, grabs his backpack, zips up his backpack, puts all his stuff in, zips up his backpack, and says, but my name has never been Midoriya. And he looks over and he says, you can call me Carnage, or you can call me Venom. As he gets on the edge of the roof, and he drops. And then he spider webs, and he swings away. Like, he turns on the Venom symbiote, basically Venom and Carnage, and he swings away. And Aizawa's like, okay, kid, that was fucking good. So this is where we're gonna end up the video, mostly because my voice hurts, because I'm not used to talking this much. But see you guys later. Have a beautiful day. I will probably be sleeping for another 20 minutes.